I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Congratulations, Gary McKee. He ran a marathon every single day of 2022. Nice job. He raised over 1 million pounds for cancer charities. This story from the Mirror. Gary said, I haven't had a beer all year. I've abstained from it. The local brewery has been making a Marathon Man beer, and they've been selling like hotcakes with all profits going to my fundraising page. This streak of 365 marathons, no joke. He's previously run 100 and 110 marathons in a row, and he said, you get used to running 185 miles a week. Wow. I ran with a guy this week that did 136 miles with me and can run sub 3-hour marathons. He didn't understand how I did it. But when you make a commitment, you have to go through with what you say. I'm still excited to open the door and see who's coming with me because I've had a bit of a hamstring injury that slowed me down. But what that's done is allowed more people to run with me. He averages 4 hours running a day. He hadn't done a marathon on his own since July. On Christmas Eve, 50 runners donned Father Christmas outfits to run with him, and on Christmas Day, 20 other people ran with him. He has continued to work a shift as a team leader at a nuclear site, which sometimes has meant running 2 marathons in the space of 16 hours. He said, I always say the lads and lasses that run with me, there are good days and there are great days. There's no difficult or bad days. Wow. I am impressed. I have run a marathon, and I trained in 2022 before pulling out pretty late in the training due to injury. And that one long run a week is enough. I can't imagine doing it every day. I would be so exhausted. Jess Mel, she's 34, also had a challenge to try something new every day. 365 adventures later, she says she's the happiest she's been in a decade. Originally, the goal was 100 tasks in 100 days. But she got rolling and didn't want to stop, so she extended it to 365 tasks. I'll read the list in a second. She said, the first 100, I had to do one thing every day. That was quite difficult, so I decided to continue for the rest of the year. I decided I'd do 365 new things. That way, I could do 10 things in one day if I was free and still have done 365 and 365. That makes sense to me because doing one thing every day was very difficult. Life kept getting in the way. I was going to finish off by swimming in the sea, but I hadn't gotten to 365 yet, so that ended up being 363 or something like that. I did want to finish off with something exciting, though, so in the end I finished up by convincing my dad to let me sit on the roof of his car as he drove down the road. That was quite random. That was only 364. My final one was making my first ever Instagram reel of some of the things I've done in the year. You ready for the list? This is going to take a second. Got Instagram, made a Christmas dinner, watched E.T., made a lampshade, did a backwards roll, bled a radiator. Tried origami, went to hot yoga, dyed my hair pink, did a 1,000-piece jigsaw by myself, tried a pot noodle, completed a Rubik's Cube, made muffins, visited an aircraft hangar, got to start a plane, used the scary gym equipment, got a henna tattoo, watched The Great Escape, learned how to do various type of knots, learned to shuffle cards, visited the Sky Garden, completed a paint by numbers, learned to pick a lock, completed the crystal maze, changed a car wheel, drank a shot out of a belly button, made fudge, played golf, made pizza, drove my nieces in my car. Yeah. I don't know about that one. Looked after my nieces by myself. Made a rainbow cake. Tried embroidery. Was part of a human pyramid. Bowled without bumpers. Visited a Mormon temple. Tried to start a fire without matches and failed. Watched a brass band called the Old Dirty Brastards. Love it. Attempted to learn to play the ukulele. Watched Only Fools and Horses for the first time. Yeah, some of these, we could upgrade a couple of these. Pretty good list, but a couple of these we could upgrade. Watched a foreign film without subtitles. Went on my first solo trip outside the UK. Learned how to fix my boiler. Went on a ghost walking tour. Made jam. Made scones. Went lambing. Played Skittles. Explored somewhere near by foot in my local area. Yeah, that's one of those, maybe you did like 355 things, and there's a bit of a stretch here. Went to Virginia Water. Joined an outdoor fitness class. Went on an organized walk. I like this one. Not safe for work. I wonder what she did. Visited the Museum of London. Made banana bread. Went on a vodka tasting tour. Tried moonshine. 72% strength. Whoa. Visited the salt mines. Got pooed on by a bird. Now, is that something you try? Because the premise here was she was going to try new things. So do you like go to the bird sanctuary and wait? How does that work? I want more details. Went to Blue Water, tried bubble tea, tried Zumba, went to the Bank of England Museum, did a solo escape room, got a spray tan. As part of getting the spray tan, got totally naked in front of a stranger in their kitchen. And I just scrolled down and there's another 200 of these. Oh boy. Let me skim. Tried mac and cheese. Got sea monkeys. Tried breast milk. Made a scarecrow. Saw a change in royalty. Is that something you plan to do, or were you just around the day the Queen died? 2 more consecutive not safe for works. Sounds like it was a fun weekend. Picked my nieces up from school. Not as interesting as that other weekend, apparently. Caught a grape in my mouth. Streaked. Another NSFW. Interviewed by the media. Went line dancing. Went speed dating. And I skipped 200 of them. As the snow started to fall in Buffalo last week, they had a horrible storm. Craig Elston's barbershop, CNC Cuts, had electricity, heat, and Wi-Fi. Guy knocks on the door, looking for shelter. Elston was already stranded there with some clients, and he said, sure, come on in. Elston started to see how terrible the storm was. He went on TikTok and Facebook Live and invited anyone in the community who needed shelter to come and stay at his barbershop. His TikTok video got 1 million views. He said, my first instinct is I have a building with heat and lights. A lot of people don't. Why not open my building up to the public? I did it just so people would have somewhere to go. He estimates about 50 people came in and out of his shop from Friday to Monday of last week. He said around 30 stayed all weekend. Some just came to warm up, charge their phones, and use Wi-Fi to contact family. He slept in his barber's chair. Some other people slept in the other barber's chairs on the floor in the back of the shop. They used barber capes as blankets. Jessica Manning had a heart transplant. She still has the old heart. She keeps it in a plastic bag at her house. She was given a new heart via donation at the age of 25. She donated her original heart to science. 10 months later, she was told it was no longer needed, so she decided to keep it. She plans to bury it in her garden. She says, when I purchase a house, I want to bury it and plant a tree on top and dedicate it to my donor. As a transplant recipient, it's almost impossible to put into words how thankful we are, not just to our donor, but to the donor's family. Everything I do in life, I do for my donor. Her old heart is kept in preservative fluid in a plastic bag. She stores it in her bedroom, and she says, because it was preserved, I didn't need to keep it in the fridge or freezer. It also didn't sit well with me that my heart would be near my food. I used to keep it in my wardrobe, but now I store it in a drawer on my desk. She shared a picture of the heart on TikTok. Some of the comments, why did I think it was a cookie before I read the caption? Another joked, you can wear it on your sleeve now. That's pretty good. And someone else suggested, you can send it to your ex with a dramatic message. And a little boy was concerned that his baby brother was the only family member without hair. You know, babies, sometimes they don't have a lot of hair. So his brother used an orange marker and drew on a pair of eyebrows and like a comb over kind of thing on his little brother. His mom rushed to grab some soap and wipe off the drawings, but she had to leave the little baby with some orange comb over on his head for 3 days to avoid hurting his soft spot. She said, I just started laughing. I was taken off guard. He looked like a little old man. The pen was an orange color, so it made him look like a little ginger. I turned around, and the brother was coloring his head. I said, what did you do? The boy said, he has no hair, so he colored in some hair and eyebrows. The boy asked if he was in trouble. He's not, as long as he doesn't do it again. Mom says, when I showed it to my husband, I walked outside and brought the baby. He started laughing and asked, who did this? That's 5 good news stories for today. A little long there in the middle. Don't forget, I skipped 200 of them. Have a great day. Daily Comedy News Podcast, 10 minutes a day about your favorite comedians, Chappelle, Gaffigan, Rogan, Mulaney, plus late night recaps. It's like SportsCenter without all that sports stuff. More comedy. Daily Comedy News Podcast, 7 days a week. Follow now wherever you get your shows.